August of 1971, Kool Herc throws a back to school party, and he's does starts doing break beating, and and then from there, hip hop is born. And then we move throughout the 80s, and you have the five elements, really the four elements, and then knowledge gets added. So you have the DJing and the graffiti and the breaking and the MCing. And then in 1979, Rapper's Delight comes on the scene, and some people say, well, not even, it's not really alleged, it's true that a lot of some of those lyrics were stolen. But still, the Sugar Hill Gang, people will acknowledge that, but still say that that starts to make hip hop seem a bit more mainstream, but it's still considered a bit of a fad. It's kind of disco, whatever. And then, you know, in the book in 1982, there was a piece in the Village Voice features Africa Bambaataa, who's I don't even know what kind of figure to describe him as. Has a it contributed a lot to the culture, but also has, done a lot of harm. We'll get to that possibly. And then, Run DMC, 1985, 1984. I can't remember quite the exact year. They do the crossover with Aerosmith, and that's when hip hop becomes more mainstream and mainstream is a code for like white people know about it or something. And then, so that's that era. Then you get like the Public Enemy, and you get the rise of Def Jam, Fresh Prince, LL Cool J, and Beastie Boys, etc. And then comes gangster rap, quote air quotes for people who aren't watching, and that's when saw the people stomping on CDs and the pastors outside saying this is gonna pollute our youth and and all the gang culture. So that's where you get Snoop and Dr. Dre and Tupac and all those folks. So again, I'm giving a generic history on purpose. This will make sense later. Then Tupac and Biggie get in a beef, and then there's the East and West Coast beef, and then they go both get killed. And then Diddy comes and runs it further into the ground. Uh, and then you get to the 2000s, and there's this is when music starts because everybody's going platinum. I mean, like people that had zero talent really start going platinum, like Chingy and people like that. And then hip hop becomes matched with all corporations, and it becomes no longer this counterculture. It's now part of it's part of American music, and it's this global phenomenon. And it's produced all these entrepreneurs, and it's helped with race relations, and um, you know, it's changed the entire scope of culture. That's the mainstream narrative with a few of my little caveats dropped in. Um, Obviously, I've skipped a lot. There's the golden era of the late 80s into the mid 90s. The dates of the golden era are never the same, so I'm not dating it. And you're older than me. Obviously, you lived through this. So that's the narrative. So before I even ask, I guess my original question on paper, what is your response to that narrative?